All right, we're going to be talking isometrics today. My name is Jack Sheffield. I have a website called jacktheexamguy.com. My email is jacktheexamguy@gmail.com, and my number is 904-755-4111. I'm going to walk you through this isometric. It's a relatively, probably on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, it's probably somewhere around a 7.5 or an 8. And I'm going to walk you through this thing to kind of show you what you might be expecting on the plumber's exam on the isometric portion. All right, so this is a typical type of an isometric where you got a couple of showers over here at an elevation of 189.5, and you have all this other stuff going on over here at 186.5. All right, so we have to realize there's an elevation change somewhere, and probably that's one of the keys to making sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. So right here, you see there's a circle with a line next to it. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little bit all crowded in there, but there's a circle with a line next to it right there. That's important. That's always important on your isometrics because that means there's an elevation change. So that's where you need to show your elevation change between your 189.5 and your 186.5. All right, now you should already know that on your drawing, this is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. Okay. And now when you do your isometric drawings, on your isometric paper, it's a little bit different, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So here we go. On your isometric paper, north is here, south is here, east is here, and west is here. So it's slightly cocked there. All right, so let's go ahead and do. I almost always like to start with our largest drain line. Okay, so that's one of the rules. That's one of my rules. Is right in here. So this is our big one, and this is going from the north to the south. So this is going, once again, north is here, south is here. It goes north to south. What do we do next? Okay, well, we can throw in this water closet. Now it looks like it is a floor water closet because it doesn't have two W's. It just has one, and there's a tank. So we're going to interpret this as a floor water closet, and we are going to go east. All right, and then we're going to go vertical. We're going to come up out of the ground. We gotta stub that up out of the ground. And that brings you to another rule of mine in isometrics, is if it is vertical in real life, it's vertical on your paper. So this is a vertical line that comes out of the floor right here. And so we're going to show that. Now, what is this and what is this? These are directions of flow. All right. So, and that's another rule. I want you to make sure that you read the instructions on your isometrics on test day. It may say, and probably will, and even if it doesn't, this is what I want you to realize. Anytime two of your waistlines come together, that means you need to show a direction of flow, and that's how you do it. So once again, this is going north to south, then we're heading in the easterly direction, and then we're coming up and we're stubbing up and going vertical. What are we going to do next? Well, let's go ahead and do this. There's obviously going to be a line right here where this wall clean out. First of all, it's a wall clean out, so you're going to have to go vertical, right? Then you've got a vent attached, and then this lav's going to come off of this vertical as well, because you can see there's two lines here. All right, so we have to come vertical. So we have a vertical line, and then we have our little direction of flow. All right, what else? Now we'll go ahead and throw that lav in there. That lav goes to the north, okay, and then it comes to the east, and then we put our trap on there, and we show our directions of flow. All right, so that's how we're going to do that lav. What comes next? Well, let's go ahead and do that floor drain. Okay, so the floor drain is going to go to the east. Okay, it goes to the east. Now it shows kind of an exaggerated direction of flow, and that's okay. And we're going to go ahead and show our direction of flow. we're going to show our floor drain going east, and we're going to put our trap on it. Now, at some point, we have to extend that trap up, and we have to stub it up out of the bottom, but we'll get to that shortly. Okay, so what do we have next? All right, now we need to take these showers into account. So the showers, we're going north and south. And you see when I talked about that, that change in elevation right here, that's where the change in elevation needs to go, right here. Okay, so this is where we're showing our change in our elevation. We're going south with one shower, we're going north with the other shower, and then we're connecting with this line here, going from the west to the east, and we're tying in right there. We're kind of piggybacking on that direction of flow right there, and that's okay. If you wanted to drop it down here and put its own direction of flow, you'd probably be fine doing that as well. Okay, all right, so what's going to be next? And we're going to put some traps on our showers. And remember, we're going to have to come vertical on those. We're going to have to come vertical over here. We got our wall clean out as well. Now, our wall clean out comes to the east. So we have a line going to the east. Remember, east is down here on your paper. So east, we have our direction of flow going into that vertical. And then we put this little line on top of it, just kind of show that we're ending the line right there. And then we do show our stub out here on our, we just added that into our floor drain. We kind of capped off this water closet. That's fine. And then it looked like everything was fine here. Now we didn't do yet our stub outs. Let's see if we get to that at some point. So right now we've got, we're going to go ahead and work on our venting. I always want you to do all of your waste lines before we do the venting. Okay. Now this is where we're going to vent to the roof. So we can go ahead and start there because everything's going to have to tie back to that. So let's go ahead and vent to the roof is going to be a vertical line. Remember, the first thing on a vent is always vertical, okay, because of the fact that, you got to go up, all right, in real life. So we go vertical, okay, with our vent line, our vent to the roof that's going to go right there. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw this line right here where we connect this stack where this wall clean out and this lav comes up. We're going to connect that back in first. So we're going to have to go vertical off of that little stack, and then we're going to have to go back to the west and connect right there. Okay, so it's vertical back to the west where we're connecting above those showers to go to the roof. That's what it's showing right there. Now this next vent is a little bit trickier. So what we've got to do is, first of all, you see, we got to figure out where we're going to be. We're going to be somewhere right in there. And the first thing we have to do is we have to go vertical, right? Okay, so we're going to go. So we go vertical from about right there. We come up, we go vertical. And now we're going to come from the top of that one. We are going to go to the west. So that's this line right here. So we went vertical here. That's that one. Then we're going to go to the west. That's this one. And then what do we have to do? Yep. Now we got to go south. And that's what we're doing here. We're coming back south and tying it in. Okay. So once again, we have vertical and then west and then south. Vertical, then west, and then south, and we tie in like so. And then, hey, and I think that's it. Let's see if we get around to putting these little stub outs on our showers. And there they are. We did a little stub outs on our showers because we did one last look around to see if there was anything we needed. Okay, and that was the one thing we needed. And then we just labeled everything. You got to do this little fancy thing on the VTR, vent to roof. You need to label revents. Okay, whenever you see a revent, don't draw anything else, just label it. Wherever they're saying it is, you label it. So that's our revent. Okay, these are our showers. Let's see if I can move that a little bit. No, I can't need to label that. I think it's just kind of hidden behind that right there. We need to label our elevation, 189.5. Should be 186.5. We have our water closet. We labeled our floor drain. We labeled our lab and our wall clean out. We went to the building drain, and boom, there you go. That's a pretty good looking drawing right there. If you tried that on your own, hopefully you did that good. Once again, this has been Jack Sheffield, Jack the Exam Guy. I'm at 904-755-4111. If you would like some more really, really good isometric drawings and some help on passing this exam, please contact me. It's 904-755-4111. JackTheExamGuy.com is the website, and it's JackTheExamGuy@gmail.com. I appreciate your business. And once again, don't ever let anybody tell you you don't know Jack.